Hi, it's Dot from dotstrot.com. And one of the types of food my husband and I would go out when we went to a restaurant would be Indian food. And just absolutely loved it. But we really have put a squash on that simply because a lot of Indian food comes with a lot of rice, a lot of naan bread. And as much as I love it, it's just something we just decided not to do. But the nice thing about low carb cooking is there's lots of ways to make the dish very low carb. You don't need all of the grains. And even with the yogurt, while I do use on occasion Greek yogurt, full fat Greek yogurt, there's ways around doing that because sometimes Greek yogurt can also slow you down if you're trying to lose weight. So tonight I'm making a chicken masala. And I'm going to be using some dark meat chicken. I'm using chicken thighs, skinless. I've already gone ahead and trimmed off a lot of the excess fat. I'm also using heavy cream and sour cream to make the sauce. I am adding some mushrooms this time around and some green onions to sprinkle on top. My mother, she's going to be eating this, and she loves mushrooms and the spring onions. I'm also using a whole red pepper diced up, some chopped up cilantro, which I'm going to mix in with the sauce and the chicken. Some kosher salt for seasoning, as well as some garam masala seasoning. Now you can make this on your own. You don't have to go out to the store and buy it, but my husband and I had gone out to a local grocery store that specializes in Indian food, and we picked up a batch of it. And as long as if you want to do that, that's great. Just make sure there's absolutely no sugar in it. And this is just straightforward seasonings mixed together. But with that, the first step in all this is browning the chicken. And that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, this dish is going to serve about 3 to 4 people. And I'm using, like I said, the chicken thighs. I've got 3 tablespoons of butter already melted in my pan, and the pan's heated. You can hear the lovely sizzle. And what I'm going to do is just put my chicken in. You'd never throw it in. I always lay it in away from me so it doesn't splash me. And I do the same thing when I flip it. But right now, all I'm going to do is go ahead and brown the chicken, make it a nice color on both sides. My oven, I preheat it to 400. You just heard, it just reached 400. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and brown this. You can also use coconut oil if you prefer, rather than butter. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. You want to do it at a medium-high heat. I just want it to go a little bit faster to heat up and get that sizzle going. Don't want to burn the butter too much, but it's starting to brown a little bit. But you can also use 3 tablespoons of coconut oil if you choose to instead. That works just as well as this. And so I'm going to go ahead and brown all my chicken, and I'll be back when we're done. My chicken's got some nice color, which I love. I'm going to turn off the heat, take them off heat, and then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle. I'm using kosher salt for my salt. It's a little bit bigger than regular salt. It's a bit chunkier, but that's okay. Don't be shy about using it because a lot of it's going to actually just slide off too, the chicken. So I think I'm good there. I just want to sprinkle a little bit on top. I'm going to use half, or maybe I'm using about a little bit heaping teaspoons of the garam masala, and I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that in with my chicken. And now what I'm going to do is stir it all together because you really want that flavor on the chicken. Yay. So I can see it's giving even better color. Just sort of lap it in there. The butter is still in there. And you just sort of want to get all of it soaked up, all that flavor in there soaked up. See, it's making an even deeper color for the chicken. You just want to brown the chicken. You're not necessarily worried about cooking it all the way through. It smells great. I think my cameraman is starting to drool a little bit. But as you go, don't want that falling out of my little pan. But there you go. You start mixing it all together. And then what I'm going to do, get these a little bit more mixed in there. I'm going to go ahead, let me get my tongs out of my dish. This is my cooking dish. I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken and all the drippings, all the sauce. This includes anything that leached out of the chicken, any liquid that came out of the chicken. I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. Doesn't look pretty right now, and that happens sometimes. But I'm going to spread this out because I'm going to finish the cooking of the chicken in this dish. I want to flatten them out. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and start working on my actual sauce that's going to go on top of the chicken. So let's head on back to my little workstation. All right, I got my chicken ready to go. What I'm going to do now is make my sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the cream cheese. The sour cream. I had cream cheese on my mind today. I've made that mistake about 3 times today. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. I'm going to add in my cream. I'm using heavy cream, or you can also use heavy whipping cream if you like to. Up to you. Or if you want to, just use complete sour cream or all cream. It's up to you. I'm going to add in my Garam Masala sauce. This is really important. That needs to get in there. I'm going to start mixing this up. This is really important because you want that flavor of all of those spices. That's what makes this. Oh, and it smells so good right now. And what's nice is the cream goes in there and makes it creamy, but with the sour cream, it's going to be a thick sauce, which is good. It'll spread out when it's in the oven. It'll spread out on top of everything. I'm going to go ahead and add in my red peppers because I want those in there. I'm going to add in some cilantro. I'm saving some cilantro for topping, a little bit for topping, not much for topping. My green onions are going to be especially for topping, and some mushrooms, about 2 ounces of mushrooms. They are the biggest mushrooms I saw at the grocery store, and I just had to have them. So I just chopped them up whole. I didn't really dice them up or anything, but that's okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that in here. It's a little thick. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a little more heavy cream. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have to get it out of the fridge, so I'll be right back. I added about 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, as you can see. I'm mixing up. I want it a little bit saucy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this on the chicken. I'm just going to layer it on there. It's a little thick, but that's okay. And you just spread it around. If you didn't add the mushrooms, it would still be a little bit thick thanks to the cream cheese. But this is really thicker because of the mushrooms. And it's going to be that much tastier. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and spread this around. You want to cover the chicken in this. And the thing is, once it hits the oven, it's going to turn saucy. Now, the cilantro and onion, I'm not going to add until serving time. That's when you add them on top. You just sprinkle it on top for serving. See what I'm doing? I'm just go ahead and spreading this out. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead, pop this in the oven for about 20-25 minutes. You want the chicken to be done about 165 degrees, roughly, for the chicken to be done. But it should take about 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and you're going to have a lovely meal. It's perfect with cilantro, or I'm making this with a cilantro cauliflower rice, which is just tastes great. It's a great way to serve it, so you don't have the rice, which adds a lot of carbs to this dish normally at an Indian restaurant. You can also just eat it straight with maybe some low-carb naan bread. And there's a couple of sites I have out there on the web that you can find great recipes for naan bread that don't raise your blood sugar levels through the roof. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven for about 20 minutes, and I'll see you then. All right, it's 20 minutes. I took the chicken masala out. It was a little bit, a lot of it sort of stayed on top, so I mixed it all together. And meaning the cream, I mixed it all together. I let it sit for a little bit, and I took a little taste, and it tastes absolutely delicious. The sour cream, there's a little bit of a tang to it, but it's not overwhelmingly tangy. It's nice, creamy, very rich. The chicken tastes so good, and all the mushrooms and the red peppers just add to the flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. So before serving, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit scallions on top. And actually, I was thinking about sprinkling a little bit of the cilantro. I'm not going to do as much because we have the scallions. I'm just going to do that. It adds a little bit of color to this, obviously. And there you go. It's ready to serve. I'm going to make actually some cauliflower rice to go with this, with some turmeric and some of the, right here, the cilantro to go with that. But it just tastes phenomenal. It really is a delicious dish. You're not missing anything by not going to an Indian restaurant. You can actually make bring Indian restaurant to your home, to your own kitchen, and it's a good thing because it's so healthy. So if you like what you see, go ahead and hit like and also subscribe, and let me know if you make any Indian dishes in your own kitchen. I'm really curious to see what type of things that you guys can come up with. I'm sort of, making dishes that I like, but there could be something that I've never tried before that you guys, being your creative selves, can actually come up with on your own. So till next time, I'll see you in the kitchen.